Okay, welcome everyone. This presentation is the Francophone Rhode Island Network supporting the teaching of French. We have Michael Ebert. I am very much not a French teacher. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name.
Okay.
Is the longstanding president of AATF-RI. He not only serves as president, he's also in charge of the AATF-RI website and works closely with Francophone organizations to help promote French. He has received an Excellence in Teaching Award by the AATF National. He is a teacher of French at Classical High School, an avid ice hockey player, and a great advocate for the teaching of the French language. Michael, whenever you're ready.
Okay, bonjour, hello everybody. Thank you for taking this time this Saturday morning, your precious Saturday morning, in attending this session on Zoom at the RIFLA conference. I welcome you all. I see we have Aubrey Taylor. Actually, she's a member of our board. Bonjour, Aubrey. Are you there? I see your face. Okay. And Steve Apostolov, he's a member of the AATF. Bonjour, Steve.
Michael, they're all muted, I believe.
Yeah, let's see here.
You should be able, you're all muted upon arrival, but you should be able to unmute as needed.
Okay. All right. Steve and Aubrey, can you hear me?
Aubrey's just having some tech issues, but she's here.
All right. Okay, we'll continue because this is going to be recorded. So I imagine those who weren't able to attend the session live, they can listen and watch after the fact. Okay, so the reason why we came together this morning is obviously due to the pandemic, much of our activities have been kind of muted. I used that term earlier this morning. And we normally have a very robust program. And I'm going to be going over that. And what I'd like to do is just highlight the fact that not only the AATF, but our Francophone network, which has existed for some time. I've been part of the AATF for 10 years or so. So I've known well, I know Mr. Gregoire and Madame Conway since then. And it's been a wonderful collaboration. And now with Marie-Josée Duquette and Mr. Snook, Marie-Josée from the Délégation of Quebec and Mr. Snook from the Alliance Française of Newport. We work together throughout the year in our different faculties and in our different programs. And we often come together throughout the year to promote the French language, the teaching of the French language, and the exposure of French culture. So we decided as the AATF to reintroduce who we are. We're still alive, we're still in action, we're just a little muted. And hopefully, God willing, when everything goes back to quote unquote normalcy, we'll be back to our usual program. Okay, so I'm going to start. Followed by, I'm just going to take a decision here. Mr. Gregoire is going to present the Alliance Française de Providence. And then Anne Conway is going to present the Museum of Work and Culture in Woonsocket. And then Marie-Josée Duquette from the Délégation of Quebec, she's going to present. And then finally, Mr. Snook from the Alliance Française of Newport. And then we'll have a discussion at the end. And voila. Okay, so attention to the screen. I'm going to reintroduce the AATF to you. Okay, can everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. Alors, Congrès RIFLA Automne 2021. So what I'm going to be speaking about is briefly the Réseau Francophonie, Rhode Island, the Francophone network in Rhode Island, and specifically what the AATF does, how to promote French and support the teaching of French. I'm not going to read explicitly each slide. I'll just speak of it. We can all read slides, obviously. So the AATF is part of the American Association of Teachers of French National. Rhode Island is one of its many, many chapters. Rhode Island has one chapter, given our small size. There are larger states which have multiple chapters due to geography and whatnot. And our main goal is to represent the French language in North America and to encourage its teaching in schools as well as Francophone culture. It is the largest association of French teachers in the United States. For your information, our local contacts, besides myself, are our Vice President and Treasurer, our wonderful Carole Figuet of the Lincoln School. And we have the Secretary and Grand Concours Administrator, Aubrey Taylor, with us on the Zoom. And then finally, our Education Coordinator, Margarita Dempsey. So what do we do? Well, our major activity is Le Grand Concours. It's our National French exam, which also has a ceremony connected to it. National French Week, which I'll explain. I'll explain each of these in subsequent slides. We normally do a Francophone event. It's usually a concert, and we keep communication with our members, even if they're non-members, through email and newsletters. And the last one there, advocacy, is very important for us. We also network within the Francophone community in Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts, specifically Boston. And we promote teacher and student scholarships, study abroad, Société Honoraire de Français, and we have an annual convention. Now, the National French Contest, Le Grand Concours, is our major operation. Regularly, more or less 100,000 students in the US participate. And it is on the list of approved tests published by the National Association of Secondary School Principals. So there is some weight to it. It's certainly something teachers would like to stress to the students, especially senior students, so they can put this on their college applications. And regularly, Rhode Island participation is around 1,000 students. Along with the National French Contest, we have a ceremony, which is a big collaborative effort with our partners. We honor students with certificates, monetary prizes, Francophone multimedia presentation in an auditorium at one of our partner schools' partner awards, which we are very grateful. The Alliance Française and other organizations do donate a partner prize for juniors and seniors, and we have a free reception that follows. In my opinion, it's the best way to promote your program to students, parents, administrators, and the community, because it is the ceremony itself is a community event. Anywhere from 300 to 500 people actually attend these ceremonies. In the first week of November, there is National French Week, and that's a nationally supported activity in individual schools, and we support that along with the national website, national level, with ideas, materials, and support. Francophone events. We normally do a Francophone concert. When I became president more than 10 years ago, I took over for professor at URI, and I essentially continued the program, and then we made some modifications and added. But this was a centerpiece of activities during the school year. It was normally a concert in November. And with the help of some of our partners, we were able to find musical acts from France or Quebec or from Africa or Haiti. And it's been a wonderful thing to organize, and a little difficult sometimes with the logistics, but very well worth it. Obviously, that's been suspended for the moment due to the pandemic and the field trip policy here in Rhode Island, which we're waiting to see how that's going to play out. So we are closely watching how that's going to work with field trips in Rhode Island schools. It's a little complicated at the moment. Now we have a chapter website, which I invite you all to explore. And on this chapter website, we have all sorts of resources, advocacy resources to promote your French program. Articles from the press. And I'll speak of advocacy soon. And there's also the national website. Okay, let me go back to my screen here. So there's also presence on all the social media, the major social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And that's managed by our secretary, Aubrey Taylor. Okay, collaboration, which is the main reason why we're all together here. We do collaborate with our partners in the promotion of French, the French language in schools and in the public. Our major endeavor is La Semaine de la Francophonie in the month of March. And there's a flag raising of the flag of the Francophonie at the Capitol. So diligently organized by Madame Conway and Mr. Gregoire. And there are dignitaries from French-speaking countries, and Rhode Island participates very well. We also have student participation. One Rhode Island school normally makes the presentation, and the French-American school in Providence also participates each year. And incidentally, through the help of Madame Conway, I've been able to get the recordings from the ceremonies at the State House, and I've been able to upload those to YouTube. And so we have an archive of our presence over the last couple of years. And then finally, the Francophonie, which is as it is Francophonie. We have a nice dinner and music celebrating La Francophonie following the week of the Francophonie. So our Francophone network is multifaceted. Here today, obviously, we have the Alliance Française, both chapters in Rhode Island. We're lucky to have 2 chapters in Rhode Island. We have Quebec, the French consulate here. Our contact, Noah Ouellette, couldn't make it this morning, although he wanted to. Museum of Work and Culture, obviously Anne Conway's here, the French American School, the American French Genealogical Society, which helps us with a scholarship. And then the Club Aaron Potier of Woonsocket, they help us defray some costs on the ceremony. You can see here that we have many scholarships for teachers and students available. And then finally, our advocacy, which is an important part. It's what I take over essentially when there's an advocacy alert in a school where perhaps a program is in jeopardy or maybe cut or curtailed. I get involved with the teacher of record and send out a little advocacy alert to our network, including the national level. And we've been very, very successful when you look over the last 10 years or so, educating decision makers to retain their programs. Et voilà, c'est moi. So I'm going to pass the baton to Mr. Gregoire right now.
Hey, thank you very much, Michael, for inviting us and for giving us the opportunity to once again promote our organizations. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the Alliance Française. The Alliance Française of Providence is part of a worldwide network of I think 850 similar organizations. About 100 in the United States. Each Alliance Française is an independent corporation. And contrary to what most people think, we do not get a penny from the French government, okay? We get a little bit of money from the state government and from the Rhode Island Foundation. And but our main financial support is coming from our language center. That is the main activity of the Alliance Française of Providence and worldwide, is to promote the French language through classes that are organized at all levels, beginner, advanced, etc., group and individual lessons. And right now, the Alliance Française of Providence itself has, regularly about 100 students for each of its sessions. We have 4 sessions: summer, fall, winter, and spring. And so anybody who wants to learn French, you're going to send them to me. So that's the most important activity, I would say, to support our organization. So we have practically only native speakers, which our students generally appreciate. People who know the culture, mostly of France. I'm sorry for our Francophone other friends, but the French are very chauvinistic. But, so that's basically the most important part of the activity. We have a building that we purchased in about 11 years ago in Providence on Smith Street, and that unfortunately during the pandemic, the classes we have not been able to use the building, and all the classes have been and are still on Zoom. We're going to be trying to go back to a hybrid system, probably starting in January. And so the other activity of our organization is to organize social and cultural events. And we're part of the Francophonie and of the flag raising ceremony that our very able Anne Conway organizes every year. And she's able to bring all these celebrities to promote French. So we're part of that. We do the Francophonie with our other friends, and but during the whole year we have different categories of different events. Generally in September, we have a French dinner that we cook at the house, and we always have about 40 to 50 people who come and eat good French food. This year we're not doing it because the place where we have it is too small, and so we're gonna go to Cave, the restaurant in Providence. We've had several events at Cave. Sylvia Moubayed, who passed away a few years ago, was always very eager to help us, and so we had several events over there. The cuisine is the closest that you can get from French cuisine itself. So we'll have it in October, and in November we'll be part of the concert that is happening with the Rhode Island chamber music orchestra. Later on, I will make a presentation on November 27 about Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker is an icon in France, and she's going to be inducted into the Pantheon in Paris.
Wow.
The first woman of color being going into the Pantheon with such other luminaries as Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Victor Hugo, and so on and so forth, and Voltaire. So that will happen on November 30th, and you know, Josephine Baker was a major, first of all, woman of musical during the 20s and the 30s. During the war, she became a resistant. She was part of the resistance against, you know, the Germans. And later on, adopted 12 children of various nations, purchased a castle in the Dordogne, in the Périgord, and raised those kids who are now in their 40s, 50s. So, but we will celebrate this extraordinary woman at the end of November. So generally in December, of course, we have the holiday celebrations for children. We do a big children program with a magician. Santa comes and gives gifts, and so that we do that at our house. And we also have a program for grown-ups this time. So and so on and so forth. January, we celebrate the King's Day, the King's Cake. February, we do a crêpe party, which is generally very, very well attended. And in March, we do the Francophonie with Anne and Michael and others. And then April and May are more subdued, but in June, at the end of June, we have the Fête de la Musique, which we had this year in a yard. We invite a bunch of musicians or singers, you know, to participate. And then we celebrate Bastille Day, of course, you know. Last year, we went to Marais Rooftop. We like that place very much. It was a very, very nice event. Okay. So these are the types of things that we organize, which give everybody a chance to socialize, to speak French. And of course, we also have a book club, which is animated by Carole Figuet, your treasurer, who's been doing it for I would say at least 10 years, and she has a very loyal following for that book club. We have a Café Croissant, which is a meeting every Thursday morning, and which is attended by, you know, between 10 and 20 people. And so everybody tries to speak French to improve their French, and it does work, and you know, people love that. So so these are the activities that we are on, my friends, and I invite you to attend some of them, and any of your members or friends, you know, can become a member. We have about almost 300 members at this point, and our newsletter is going out to about 2,000 people. So, yeah, it's pretty good. And so you know, the people who come to our events are never the same. You know, who comes to a classical concert is not the same person who is going to come to the crêpe party. But so you know, it varies according to the different events. So we're going to try to start again our movie nights, and I would like to show a movie. I don't know if anybody went to the consulate for Bastille Day, but they showed Antoinette dans les Cévennes. I think the The English title is My Donkey and My Lover. And it's a sentimental comedy that happens in the center of France on the trail that was years ago followed by I never remember his first name, but Mr. Stevenson, who was a writer, and went across the Massif Central, also, I think, with a donkey. And but the movie relates to that and shows all the trouble that this young woman has with the donkey. Finally, I want to bring up something else. I mean, during the whole pandemic, we had a young woman from Paris, Inès Belkefi, who is the sister of one of our members, made presentations about Paris. And they were very well, there was a good follower group with Inès presentations. So she went from neighborhood to neighborhood. The next one is going to be at the end of October, I believe October 23rd, and it will be about Le Marais, the neighborhood of Le Marais in Paris. If you know Paris, please go to the Marais, go to the Place des Vosges, it's beautiful. So that will be October 23rd. On November, I forget, 22 or something, she will make a presentation about the Pantheon. So that'll be in connection with Josephine Baker, but she will show the Pantheon and all the neighborhood around that. So presentation sur le Marais, Saturday, and I think she generally does it like around, I think it's on Saturday at 11 o'clock, okay? And we always have about 50 to 60 people who attend this thing on Zoom, of course. Yeah. Nobody goes to Paris to see Inès. So that's basically what I can tell you about the current events at the Alliance and what we do. That gives you a sense of what we do. And I think that will conclude my presentation in more than a nutshell.
Ouais, très bien, monsieur.
Merci,
OK, merci
à tous.
Dominique. Et maintenant, Madame Conway du musée.
Oui, bonjour à tous. Thank you very much, Michael, for inviting me, and it's great to see all our friends. I recognize Madame Jones, who took a virtual tour of the museum last year, and that's something that I want to talk about. Certainly an opportunity for all French teachers and any teachers who are interested in taking our virtual tours. But before, let me tell you a little bit about the Museum of Work and Culture. I think that you're probably all familiar, but in case you don't know, we are located in the city of Woonsocket on the banks of the Blackstone River. We are in an old textile mill. So we're very authentic. We tell the story of the immigration of the French Canadians, of the Québécois, who settled in northern Rhode Island at the mid 19th century, early 20th century. So we estimated about 1 million people left the province of Quebec between that period. Of course, not everyone came to Woonsocket. We know all the cities and towns along in New England where there were a lot of big settlements of French Canadians to work in the textile industry. However, the city of Woonsocket became known as being the most French Canadian city in the US by 1920. And certainly that was not in numbers, that was in per capita. But, in Woonsocket, if you're not a French speaker and you wanted to work in the mills, you had to learn to speak French, because even many of the mill owners, especially at the very beginning of the 20th century, came from France and Belgium. So they brought their technology and they opened some of the textile mills there. And it was very much of an advantage for them because the manpower spoke French. So those are the type of stories that you learn at the museum. We cover, stories of course, immigration and labor. And we do a lot with the Francophonie, with the Francophonie group. The museum is going to be celebrating 25 years next year, which I can't believe it because I've been there since the beginning and it doesn't feel like 25 years. We are, we're preparing for the 25th. However, when it comes to field trips, I know that's probably going to be the subject very much of this conference. We still don't know what's going to really happen with the schools. Some schools have been given the okay, but most schools, when you hear from teachers, don't really know if they'll be able to take the students on field trips this year. The good news is we do give virtual tours, and all our tours at the Museum of Art and Culture are free for students. So there's no fees for you to bring, from grammar school to college. We can cover any type of tours. We tailor to, the needs of each class. And the tour takes about an hour. Again, if there's a little bit more time, we can add more material. And what we do, we follow up with a vocab list. So I will try to share my screen. we did a tryout and it was okay, but for some reason I couldn't see all of my files that I'd opened, but okay, I can do this one, I believe. So this is just an example of a vocab list that we have created. So we send that to the teachers ahead of time. And then when we give the tour in French, and it can be half French, half English, but we make sure that we touch upon those particular terms and words to make it more interesting for the students. So, and this gives you a little bit of an idea of what the museum looks like on the inside. When we give the virtual tour, we also we'll show some short videos. So I think it's as good, not as good as being there in person, but the closest that we could come to from coming to the museum in person. So in the pandemic time still, I'm very happy to be able to offer this option. Then the other thing I wanted to share with you, it's just a very, I'll go through this presentation very quickly. This is a presentation that I had prepared back during La Francophonie. So you all heard from Michel, from Michael, and from Dominic that we get together at the State House of Rhode Island every March to raise the flag of Francophonie and to celebrate the different French cultures and French language in our state. And last year, unfortunately, we could not be at the State House in person. So we did very much like we are doing today, like every group from this Francophonie group, the Alliance of Française of Newport and Providence and Quebec Delegation got together and we just did a virtual presentation. So this is what the virtual presentation was, of course, speaking about the museum and describing some of the activities that we do. So this is last year with the Quebec delegation. Every year we present a Ciné Québec. So we are able to get some very new releases from the province of Quebec, and we show them normally in person at the museum. But last year we were able to show the films virtually, and we did a dégustation de fromage at the same time. So everyone could pick up a little curbside, pickup of cheese and a bottle of wine, and we were able to get together on Zoom and and we met with someone who owns a cheese shop in Providence, and she was able to give us a nice description of the cheeses we were tasting while we were enjoying our wine, and also we watched a film together. So there are ways that we all became very creative with this, but they are the type of hybrid programs that we want to continue because we reach out to so many more people. Another example of a different type of program is our poutine competition. So you've all heard of poutine, which is the best junk food from Canada. It's our French fries and gravy and curd cheese that we're all crazy about. And there are many restaurants in the state of Rhode Island now who prepare la poutine. So what we do is we ask them to come together in every month of March in this poutine competition. And last year, again, we instead of bringing all the restaurants together in one day, we used to do it in person. We rented friolators, and all the restaurants served during our Bonjour Printemps events, Route de Spring Bonjour Printemps. But last year we came up with a passport system, and we're going to do the same thing again this year. It worked out really well, where people could buy a poutine passport for only $15 and go around and try all the different poutine in the restaurants, get just a sample size, and then vote for their favorite poutine. And then we announced the winner during our Bonjour Printemps event. So we already talked about la célébration de la francophonie of Rhode Island. Bonjour Printemps, I have the date, so if you want to mark your calendar, this year will take place on April 3rd. So we're just a little outside of Le Mois de la Francophonie, just because of scheduling reasons, but it is an event where we celebrate again the French culture, the French language. Last year we did a virtual concert. We are really hoping to be able to do a concert in person this year. And our wish is to invite the winner of the poutine competition to prepare the poutine on site. So every ticket holder gets to try the winning poutine. So the museum is open from Tuesdays to Saturdays, and our website is www.rihs.org. And then very quickly, I know time is flying by. I want to talk about this other amazing project that we have been, see, that disappeared. I don't understand. I opened them all ahead of time, and one file I wanted to share is gone. So I wanted to talk about La Francoroute and geocache. So the Museum of Work and Culture, along with the Quebec Delegation, we've been working for many years now to develop this Francoroute in New England. And I think it's an amazing teaching tool. So the website is www.francoroute.com. It's a beautiful website that will take you through 5 cities in New England, from Lewiston, Maine, to Biddeford, Maine, to Lowell, Massachusetts, Manchester, New Hampshire, and Woonsocket, Rhode Island. So what we have done, and the website is in French and English, so we have researched all the French history, the Francophone history of every city. And we have recently been able to turn this Francoroute into a geocache. So I don't know if some of you are familiar with geocaching. It's actually considered the biggest treasure hunt in the world. And it's very easy to go. There's a geocaching app that people can get. And what you do is people will go to every city and find these hidden places within the city. And each place has a historical significance that has to do with the Franco-American history of each place. So the website really explains it all, and I encourage you to visit because it's quite interesting. We have not been able to publicize it in Canada really much yet because the border, the Canadian border is still, I'm sorry, the US border is still closed for Canadians. So it's Americans can go into Canada, but Canadians cannot come into the US by car. But as soon as that reopens, we certainly want to promote the Franco route in Canada and try to get a lot of visitors to come and discover these places throughout New England, because we think we have an amazing history. And I'd be happy to certainly talk to any of you who want to book a field trip to the Museum of Work and Culture. I'm happy to give the tour. I don't have another French guide right now, so I'll be able to personally give the tour to your students.
OK, très bien. Merci Anne.
Merci,
Et
Anne.
Marie-Josée Duquette de la délégation.
Sorry. Oui, bonjour. Thank you, Michael, for inviting me and the delegation of Quebec and Boston. So I will share mon écran. So partager. Oh. So you can see. Here we go. So, so we said the delegation of Quebec and Boston, Quebec, the Quebec office in Boston. You can hear my cat now. So just to give you a big picture of Quebec. So Quebec is really, it's the border, with USA, but we are 8 million people in Quebec, and we have these two big city, Quebec City here and Montreal. And when we do presentation in school, and that's what I want to talk, we really explain really well about the geography of Quebec and the history, and we have a nice PowerPoint. But before talking about this, I just want to let you know that we have a lot of Quebec office around the world. We're at 33 office delegation around the world, and 6 are in USA. So we have Boston, we have New York, Chicago, LA. So we really have a lot of, as I said, delegation. And one of the mandate is really to promote, the culture and the Francophonie where we are. So in our case, it's for New England. We also have people who can help, company like French Canadian company come here. And also for me, so I'm the attaché of the education, culture, and Francophonie. So my mission is really about, promote the French language here in New England. So as I said, we have 5 delegations in USA. So just to let you know, so in New York, it's 30 people, work there, but we have 8 people in Boston, and we cover New England. So, all the state in New England. But we are, again, 8 people with la déléguée Marie-Claude Francaire. So what I do, and so for the last year, it was virtual Zoom, but we really do a presentation for school who have a teaching program, in French. So we talk about, it's a PowerPoint. It's a really good PowerPoint. We talk about Quebec, la géographie, history, population, what we are doing too. So sometimes it's very interesting for students, what is my job exactly? Also, we talk about la Francophonie around the world and the possibility to study in Quebec, because some people, they know the student, they will know McGill University because it's a nice, really good college, but also we have other college in Quebec. And so we can also talk just about this, the possibility to study in Quebec when it's time for college. And also we have a really good video and about why learning French. So, and it was a request I had from a French teacher in the past, they said, sometimes student has to pick between Spanish or French, to learn at school, and they don't know exactly which language to learn. So we have a video in our office who explain, and it's Michael, so it's not Michael Hebert, but it's another Michael, He's American, but he's really well French, and he just explained why he decided to learn French when he was at the high school. And he's really good, and he works, with us. So, and this video is very popular, with teacher, because it can help the student to decide to learn French, or to say, wow, okay, I'm very happy that I learned French at school. So this is what we do, in our office. So also, as I said, we sometimes we do a presentation only for parents, because they want to know about college in Quebec. So we can give a lot of information, and most of the time is for the parent. It can be also for the student, but we do that. And also we participate to the Canadian College Fair. So we just hope that this year it will be en présentiel, but when they have Canadian College Fair, we are there too. And also we like to really, sometimes it's happened, some program, maybe school would like to cut, French program, and this is really bad. So we try to really support, and so the consulate of France and us, we can write, some letter to explain why it's so important, to have a French program in school. So, and we just hope that it can help. And also, as Anne explained, and Dominique, durant le mois de la francophonie, we do a lot of activities. We go to school. Sometimes it's a big show, so you have music people from Quebec, they will come and they will have a lot of shows. So we are really, really involved, and we like to participate during le mois de la francophonie. It's very important also for us. And the only thing I want to tell you, it's about le Centre de la Francophonie des Amériques. So le Centre de la Francophonie des Amériques, it's not the Quebec delegation, but it's a tool that is very important for a teacher. So, and one of the things that I want to talk, it's more about the library. So the Centre de la Francophonie des Amériques has a virtual library, okay? And it's free. So you just have to be a member, and to be a member, it's free to be a member. So really everything is free, okay? And people has access, to a lot of books. We talk about 14,000 books, a lot of edition house, and it's 100% in French. So, and it's only for America. And it's very amazing. So I hope that teacher, can take advantage of this and can be a member of le CFA. And the thing with le Centre de Francophonie des Amériques is, with also your student, you can have, ça s'appelle le rendez-vous littéraire. So your student can, read a book, and after that has a meeting, meet the author. And that's really wonderful. One day I was there, and I can see that, when you read a book and you like the book, you want to talk with the author. And this is what they do, le Centre de Francophonie des Amériques. So I think it's a really, and again, it's free. So it's something that, for a teacher can be really fun. So it's not, if you want to have more information, you can reach me out and I can give you people to contact. But that's something that I want to talk, because it's very special. And I think I talk really fast, so I'm finished now. I'm done.
Okay, bravo.
Can I just say a word, Michael?
Yes, of course.
Just want to thank Marie-Josée Duquette, because she came on Zoom to our Alliance Française to make presentation. I think you did 2 or 3 on Quebec, Montreal, and La Gaspésie. And everybody enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Well, merci. Thank you.
Okay, and now to sort of we started with the Alliance Française of Providence, and we're going to end Alliance Française of Newport. Mr. Snook.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just share my screen, if you will indulge me. Okay. First of all, I want to thank you, Michael, and for inviting the Alliance Française to be a part of this presentation. I think, and what I hope that comes out of this is some tools that teachers in Rhode Island will be able to use and put to their use almost immediately, whether we are a virtual organization or whether we are teaching virtually or whether we are teaching in person. Alliance Française is absolute.
I think we're frozen here.
Language French culture project. So whatever we can do to help is exactly what we intend and hope to be able to facilitate on behalf of the teachers of French teachers of the state of Rhode Island. A little bit about the Alliance Française. We've been in existence since 1953. We have approximately 100 members, of which 40 or 50 of them actively take language classes. The mission of the Alliance Française, as you can see there, is the same as the mission of every Alliance Française. It's to promote the French language and Francophone cultures and to foster exchanges between French speakers and local communities. And we believe at the Alliance Française Newport that this is where we can be of greatest assistance to French language teachers within the state. Our members, our organization can and should be a magnificent resource of information and capability and competence to French teachers within the high school and university systems here in the state. As everybody knows, because the Alliance Française Newport is very proud of shouting about this from the local rooftops, we are very pleased and proud of our heritage, of our relationship with France and Francophone cultures on the basis of their participation in the Revolutionary War in the late 18th century. And that's something which we stand upon in terms of our history and our tradition as well. Similar to Dominique, our organization is active socially and culturally. We have, innumerable events locally. We have conversation groups that meet regularly. We are a sponsor of the French Film Festival that is hosted and put on by Salve Regina University here in Newport. We have in the past and will continue to do so in the future when it's possible, screen French language movies using the One Film, One Federation program from the Alliance Française. We will use that to introduce more people to French language movies using Jane Pickens Theatre. We have our annual Bastille Day celebration. We have an annual Christmas party, and we have various other French themed events. Historically, we have supported local high schools and universities, certainly in Newport, with various awards, trying to promote and assist French teachers of those institutions with promoting French as a subject to their students. And I fundamentally believe that that's one of the things that we can and should do more of. We currently have book awards. We currently have outstanding student awards. We have done those historically for Salve Regina. We have done those historically for Newport High School, Middletown, and Portsmouth as well. We want to do those, continue to do those, and we also want to expand those programs, and we intend to do exactly that. So in the fall of 2019, we offered for the first time in, a long time, a screening of the Alliance Française One Film, One Federation movie for the year, Le Brio. We did that program at the Jane Pickens Theatre, had 150 members and guests that participated and watched that screening at Jane Pickens. We also had a restaurant across the street, the Stoneacre Brasserie, participate in that as well, creating this French wonderful environment. You'll have to excuse my dogs in the background. They must have heard something happening down the street or something. We had attending that evening approximately 40 students and their teachers, free of charge, who came along to that movie at our invitation. And that was done, and we were able to do that because we had a corporate sponsorship for the evening that effectively paid their participation. We want to do more of the same. We want to encourage French language teachers to bring their students to Jane Pickens Theatre. And, obviously, within the constraints of the field trips and COVID-19 and so on and so forth, that's a problem currently. But we are looking for ways and solutions, and we are looking for solutions going forward. In 2021, we started giving awards to local area French students at middle school level in order to encourage students at a younger level to participate in the French language schooling. Going forward, in 2021, we have a big initiative that we want to encourage French language speakers or French language teachers. We want to offer French language teachers and administrators within the state of Rhode Island a free membership in the Alliance Française of Newport, regardless of where they are and where they are teaching. Because we fundamentally believe that if we continue in this virtual world that we live in, then these teachers, it doesn't matter if they're in Cumberland or if they are in Providence, they can benefit from a virtual organization that is there to support their willingness and desire to improve their product that they provide for their students. And that's exactly what we want to do at the Alliance Française in Newport. The benefits of an educator's membership at the Alliance Française of Newport: member access to all events offered by the Alliance Française. And I appreciate and I understand that for some people in Cumberland or in Providence, that they're, it's a ways to drive to Newport. So I understand that, but there are other benefits to membership in the Alliance Française that we can give them today, that we can give them tomorrow, that are virtual. And one of those is a Culture Tech account. They will have our teacher members, our educator members will have access to one of the largest French language bibliothèques in the world, provided by the Institut Français. And so as a consequence of that, they will have access to a whole slew of French language materials that they can then use in their educational environment, in their teaching environment with their students. And we think that that's a good thing, a good opportunity to provide those people. They will have discounted access to the Salve Regina French Film Festival. They will have, of course, member discount on wine at Bellevue Wine and Spirits, which is always one of the benefits of membership that a lot of our members seem to take advantage of. There will also be opportunities to interact with our members. We have such a broad demographic. We have members whose primary interest is in French art. We have members whose primary interest is in Franco-American history, particularly as it pertains to Newport. So we have these tremendous resources for all of these teaching modules, if you will, that French teachers of French teachers of language, or language of French teachers of French language will be able to access and leverage in their in their classrooms. The cost of an educator's membership in the Alliance Française of Newport is nothing. We offer this as a benefit to French language educators in the state of Rhode Island. And it's, you know, just giving these people access to more resources, something that we want to be able to do. The immediate benefits of a French language teacher's membership: you will have the ability to stream Rêve de Jeunesse for your students this fall. That is a movie that, again, is offered through the Alliance Française One Film, One Federation, One Film initiative. It is offered to the Alliance Française as a movie. They're usually small independent movies that are quite provoking. And so for advanced students of French language, that could prove to be quite a benefit. The Alliance Française would like to invite all educators, those people, everybody on this call, and every teacher that decides to sign up for an Alliance Française of Newport membership. We would like to invite you all to a barbecue this fall, to be hosted by us here in Newport, to really get to know you even better outside of this environment in a socially distanced outside, experience. Here's hoping it doesn't rain that afternoon, for example. But we want to talk about and learn from you about how our resources can help you do a better job teaching French to your students, because that's the best way that then those students can be used as referral basis for us all, if you will. So we invite you. The date is yet to be set, but we absolutely are deciding and will be doing something along those lines this fall. Benefits of a teacher membership in 2022. The Alliance Française of Newport is sponsoring a chanteuse, a lady from Lyon, who is going to be spending a month in Newport in the spring of 2022. And I noted the dates of La Semaine de la Francophonie actually match quite nicely and overlap at least a little bit with this lady's presence here in Rhode Island. She is going to be in Lyon. She's going to be in Newport from March 23rd to April 23rd. Mathilde Mogier is from Lyon, and she has this wonderfully broad songbook that she will be presenting to Alliance Française members in Newport on at least one occasion during that month that she is here, and we're going to do a couple of different themes for her. But she is also interested in working with schools and doing visits to advanced level French language student classes for various themes. And we're still working on putting a structure to that. And the conceptual framework has been developed, and we're still working on, basically crossing the T's and dotting the I's, but we are doing that in advance. She is definitely coming in March and will be here for a month. And so we would suggest to anybody that has any interest to reach out to us at the Alliance Française here in Newport to be able to solicit and try and get time on her calendar while she is here. That's pretty much it. For anybody that is interested in an educator's membership of the Alliance Française of Newport, please email me with some information, your information, and Michael, I will probably reach out to you after this meeting to get email addresses of French educators in the state of Rhode Island, so I can reach out to them independently subsequent to this meeting. Or you can call me 40757-0026. Ladies and gentlemen, merci beaucoup. You'll have to excuse me. I am probably the reason why you were all subjected to speaking English.
No, not
in this
necessarily.
Presentation. You have to understand. For me, French is my third language. I speak English fluently. I'm still working on American, and I've got it pretty well down pat now, but French has been left in the dust. And so I apologize for my lack of French. I appreciate the time. I hope this has been useful, and I really look forward to welcoming educators into the Alliance Française of Newport. Thank you very much for your time.
Excellent, excellent, Andrew. And one of the reasons why we went to English is because this is going to be recorded too. So I want to make sure that this reaches a much wider audience. Administrators, in fact, we have someone from University of Rhode Island could probably pass this along as well. So hello, Sigrid, how are you?
Bonjour. I will pass it on to the French section of
Absolutely.
our language department.
So the great thing about the Zoom presentation is it's archived. So anybody could view it, administrators, et cetera, So given the time, I mean, actually we did pretty well, only 10 minutes above or 9 minutes above, exactly. So I don't believe there's any questions. Are there any questions? I think we're pretty thorough, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that this will be archived soon, and contact information will be collected. So I'll make sure that everybody has their contact information available. And I'd just like to say, merci infiniment. This was sort of put together just over the last month, and you all rose to the challenge of giving up your Saturday morning. So I very much appreciate it, and I look forward to working with all of you very soon. And bonne chance, and à bientôt. Au revoir.
Merci, Mike.
Merci. Au revoir.
Merci.
Au revoir.